19 hours. That's how much online video people are watching on average in a week. And the demand for video is only growing. If you're a content creator, you know the struggle of picking between quality and quantity to grow your channel, especially if you're on a tight budget. But who says you can't have both? With Storyblocks, you get all the stock content you need to create amazing videos fast. While most stock libraries have expensive pay-per-clip pricing, Storyblocks gives you unlimited downloads for one set price. Download anything from a library of millions of 4K and HD footage clips, After Effects templates, music, sound effects, images, and more. Everything is covered by our industry-leading licensing that lets you share your videos anywhere, anytime. Plans start at just $15 a month. Find all the stock you need and create faster than ever, so you can tell your story your way. Visit storyblocks.com/red circle to learn more.
What song? Are you gonna sneeze?
Me?
Who?
Yeah.
I feel like there's something like moving in my nose. Like,
You got a dancing boogie?
yeah, there's like the hairs in my nose are shifting or something's going on. Winds of change in my nasal cavity.
She's got an oogie boogie.
Hey,
right.
How do you make a tissue dance? You know what I mean? Put a little boogie in it.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Potted Together. I'm Nicole, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
This is like the start of like a sex line. Like,
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, we just call a 1-800 number?
Oh, geez, never mind. Welcome back to Potted Together. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Nicole, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Becky.
Hello.
hello.
Happy Halloween.
Okay, is this episode airing on Halloween?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm so excited about today's episode. We have a really fun one for you guys. We asked all of you for your spooky, scary stories, and we got quite a bit, and some of them are... I'm not going to lie, some of them are pretty scary. We have a video for one of them. Ooh. And yeah, you can find it in stories. But listen to the story before you go check out stories today. People are going to see the stories before they listen to the episode and be like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Well, boo. But first we have to catch up.
Like the way that Nicole comes alive when we're gonna be spooky. She's just like, her face is like lit up and she's so excited.
I know. I so regret like not... Since this episode is airing on Halloween too, I'm like, dang it, we should have had costumes.
See, I stopped dressing up for Halloween probably in my early 20s. Like after I stopped going to house parties, I probably... was when I stopped dressing up.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I do feel that. If I had friends here and somebody was throwing a party, then yeah, I'd dress up. But like, since we're just going to be hanging out at home, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Role play.
I remember...
Role play is the point.
Oh. I wasn't going to go there. I remember... Sorry. Becca's got plans for later all of a sudden.
The weird costumes you could wear and like all the funny combinations of people in their costumes. Like, I don't know. It just made me laugh. Sorry.
Hey, Luigi, why don't you come up here to my castle?
Yeah, it's like...
me, Mario.
Yeah. Which, by the way, there's going to be a live action... Not a live action, like an animated Mario Nintendo thing. I'm so excited.
Movie?
Yeah, Dan and I watched the trailer. Jack Black is voicing somebody. I don't know who.
He's the best.
Oh,
There's some controversy with it.
Oh, really?
Because Chris Pratt is voicing Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and people
no
don't
way.
like Chris Pratt. Right. Okay, but Jack Black is playing the villain guy. I don't remember his name. He wears like
Bowser?
Bowser.
Yes, Bowser. Yeah, he has a shell. The shell guy.
Who's Princess
Spiky
Peach?
shell. I don't know.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
gonna bring something up, you better come with all the facts, all right?
I'm sorry.
You're talking to some OG Nintendo playing fools here, okay?
I know. I'm new to the Nintendo world. I have no idea.
Oh, it was my childhood. In a nutshell.
But in 2023, Super Mario World is opening in Universal Studios in California.
Wow.
I will be
so
going.
excited about that. Oh, Princess Peach is played by Anna Taylor-Joy, the Queen's Gambit.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Oh, and Charlie Day is doing Luigi. He's the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love him. Big crush on him.
Is there a Yoshi?
Well, Yoshi doesn't talk.
Well, true.
Who's doing his little sounds?
He makes
though?
sounds.
Seth
Yeah.
Rogen is Donkey Kong. Keegan-Michael
Yes,
Key
that's
is
so funny.
Toad.
Oh,
Yeah,
Keegan Michael.
Okay,
He's so
this
funny.
is going to be vibes.
Are people just upset about Chris Pratt?
Yeah, because they said it doesn't sound like Mario. It just sounds like Chris Pratt.
Oh. Okay, like why didn't they have an Italian person do Mario? Mario is
Right.
Italian. He has an Italian accent.
Right.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
scuttlebutt.
That's the issue. Okay, I get that. That does make sense. When I was looking it up, I saw that people were not happy about that casting, but I did not understand why because I didn't put much thought into it. But that does check out. I am upset about that. I'm with you
Wow.
guys,
Yeah, I
actually.
What a
He's
roller
gotta
coaster
sound like
moment,
Mario.
folks.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah. Okay, well, Nicole, I'll let you lead. I was about to do something, so Nicole, you do it.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say we need to catch up. I don't know how we got on that little Mario thing. Oh, costumes.
It's a me.
Yeah, so like
It was a me.
I
got some
remember
pipe that needs to be laid. Sorry.
I remember dressing
fear.
up. What?
The fear on Becca's face when I said that. Okay, sorry. You remember
that's
dressing
okay.
up?
I remember dressing up one year, like I was older, like I hadn't dressed up in a while, but it was just to scare trick-or-treaters. But I can't remember what I wore. And then one year me and Jay went and bought a bunch of like scary masks at the Halloween store. Yeah. So we have a lot of costumes, but we just don't dress up anymore. We're boring.
Wait, so you guys were those people that scared trick-or-treaters when they came to your house?
Yeah. Oh, one year
I hated
was
that.
a teenager and like we had a long like parkway in our backyard and we had the kids go around like through the side of the house to the back door.
No way.
And we had like an entryway to our basement. So we put like a smoke machine down there. And I'm pretty sure I wore the Michael Myers mask for this. Probably the whole get up. And like I came out of like from the basement when they were walking like up to the door. Yeah.
That's so fun.
We didn't go through any candy because we scared them before they could come back to get the candy. It was perfect.
Oh my gosh. That is intense. See, okay, that reveals so much more about you than I previously knew. No, really, because like I just feel like that is like a pivotal like childhood thing that you did that we did not know until just now. So thank you.
I only did it once, one year, but it was fun. Maybe we should bring it back now that I live in
Yeah.
the burbs. Scare some little
burbs.
suburban kids.
Yeah, they need some fear in their lives. They got the cozy life out in the burbs.
Oh, Becca said bye.
Did she touch her headphones?
Probably.
The funny thing is, whenever this happens, I always hear on the editing side of, dang it, what?
Did you Yeah, I literally said, "What?"
I said,
literally-
Becca said bye.
I literally do not know what happened. It just like crashed or something. That's weird.
Wow,
That's
spooky.
funny. That's happened to me. Yeah, maybe you have some friends over there. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do a catch up. How has your week been, Adam?
I got back from my trip back home to Nebraska, so really had to decompress for a few days because I was there for like 10 days. It was a lot.
Oof, that's a long trip.
Yeah.
I know.
But all in all, it was pretty good. Yeah, my sister got married. It was a little wedding celebration. It was sweet, but the place that she was getting, like the ceremony was at, I sent you guys those pictures. But they breed husky puppies.
You didn't come home with a puppy.
I really wanted to.
Oh.
And they were selling them for $500, which I thought was pretty reasonable. I don't know. That sounded reasonable to me. But I've never actually bought a dog, like that. It's always been adopt or rescue. But I got to like just smell their puppy breath, and it was like the best 5 minutes of my life. And then this one, I was like holding this one, the white one, that was like full on snuggling into my coat, like sleeping. And this little girl comes up and she's like, "Can I hold the dog?" And honestly, every ounce of me wanted to say no, but then I felt like I couldn't because there were other people standing around me, like watching this interaction, but I did not want to give this dog away. But I did. But then I told her, if when you're done with that, you bring it right back here.
Oh my God. See, here's what I would do. I'd be like covered up with my jacket and be like, "What dog?" Like pretend, like make it seem like you're messing with her, but then just like walk away, and everyone would be like, "Ha ha, he's such a funny guy."
Gosh, why didn't I think of that?
Silly guy.
But yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. Got to see family, got to, see fall and feel fall, which was so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
The leaves. They're so pretty.
But I'll get it again next week because we're going to Indianapolis, so.
You'll get it more so, I feel.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold next week. Do you own a coat?
Yeah, I still have like all my coats because I haven't really.
Okay.
I haven't gotten rid of things because I like to ski and stuff. So I was like, well, if I go skiing, I need a thick coat,
Yeah, true. I always hated that though, like going from a hot place to a really cold place because you have to pack so much more. And then like typically you'll wear your coat to the airport, but then wearing it home, it's an inconvenience because you're like sweating, Because what is it, still like 90 in Phoenix?
Yeah, it is. I had a little trouble at the wedding though because like nothing was planned. Nobody was really taking charge, and I was like, "This is my moment." Because like this is gonna be a shit show. Like the rehearsal, no one was actually doing the rehearsing. I was like, that's the point of the rehearsal, is to find out where you're walking, when, and where you stand. Yeah. And everyone was just kind of lollygagging down the aisle, and I was like, hold the phone, went to the back, and I was like, men, you're going to hold your arm like this. Ladies, you're going to put your arm like this. Because you've been to weddings where they don't do this, and then you have like the two people walking arm in arm, but like really awkwardly, and you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Have you never touched another human before? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. And then they get their photos back and they're like, oh, maybe we should have rehearsed.
Yeah. It was kind of a shit show, but they loved it, so that was fine. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
But I was kind of keeping you guys involved with the whole photographer situation, who she was like really nice, but this was her first wedding and clearly did not know how to take photos. Like, she was an auto gal. I'm 100% positive. Which I felt bad, but you know what? I'm sure that the photos are going to be decent and everything's going to be fine. I can say this.
Did you see any?
I haven't. Well, no, but she kept showing people the photos after she took them. One of those kind of people of like
it's a lot of confidence,
wanting affirmation, like immediately after she took your photo.
Yeah. See, I was envisioning her showing you some photos and then you being like, oh, sweetie, just give me the camera for a second. Just quickly changing all the settings.
Bro, I wanted to so bad. Like, when we were in that one room that had these huge, beautiful windows, and she shut the shades and popped up the on-camera flash, and I was like, "Oh Lord,
oh no!"
I died inside a little. I really did.
Oh
yeah.
no.
I don't know if I would have been able to not say anything. Like, I understand why you didn't, which you're right for not. But like, no, the natural light is what you wished for.
Yeah.
No.
Optimist here. The photos will probably be better than if someone was going around with their phone. Like if they didn't have a photographer, it's better than if they had nothing and we're like, everybody just send your photos in. Like,
right.
So there's that.
And you got to start somewhere. Like I said, this was her first wedding, so there was just like so many things. Like I kind of was like, we're at the reception and I let the head table went and got their food and she wasn't like eating, and it was like, go get your food. And she was like, oh no, I'm going to wait for everybody. I was like, no, that's not how it works, because when the head table's done, your job starts. So like you need to eat when they eat. And I even announced like the head table's going to go first and the photographer, and she didn't go. And so I was just like, pro tip, like you need food and you're going to eat when they eat. That's your break. And so she went and got food.
You were like the day of coordinator.
Yeah, you were everything.
Ever consider going into that? I mean, you did a great job.
No. I was full on wedding planner, Jennifer Lopez up there. But then the reception, she had like this hot chocolate bar, which was like a really cute idea in theory. Lots of like little toppings and stuff. But they were going to heat up the milk with an old style like coffee percolator, you know, that you see in churches.
Oh.
Yeah. So they dumped the gallons of milk in this percolator, and then like 30 minutes later, the milk was all over the floor and all over the table. Apparently had a hole in it. And I said, did no one test the percolator before we tried this? And then it just smelled like burnt milk. Like it was the worst smell ever. And I'm just like, oh my God. So finally they just got a crock pot and dumped milk in a crock pot, and people were just like ladling it out.
Oh dear.
Jeez.
Oh dear.
Oh. So
you know what I'm curious to know, like back to the photographer. Did she shoot in RAW? Because there's a lot of things you could correct in post-production if she shot in RAW.
Yeah, I am guessing she probably doesn't know what RAW is. I mean, these are lessons you got to learn, you know, by getting out in the field. And she's out there doing it. She was super sweet and really kind. But she also had like these really fashionable boots on, but like big chunky heel. But they were like a 5-inch heel. And I'm sitting here thinking like, girl.
You gotta start somewhere.
This ain't it, sis.
This ain't it, sis. Gym shoes, honey. Gym shoes. Okay? Black gym shoes. Get yourself some comfortable ones.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I feel like a negative Nelly. It was fine. I'm sure, like, they loved their day, and that's fine. It just wasn't, like, how I would have done things, but it's not about me, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get that. But it also probably stemmed from the fact that you've worked uncountable weddings, you know what I mean? Like you've been at so many weddings and you've seen it done so many times that you probably just really wanted, you know, to help, which is I would have been the same way for sure.
Yeah. And like the day of the wedding, my dad was like, we have to be there at 10 a.m. And I was like, no, we do not, Dad. And he was like, yes, we do. That's when the photographer shows up. They want the wedding party there. And I was like, we are not the wedding party. You're the father of the bride. I am just an MC at this reception, which basically means I just announced a few things and that was it, and pushed play on a playlist. And like, we don't have to be there. And he was like, he got mad at me because he was thinking that I was upset that I wasn't part of the wedding party. That me saying that was me complaining. And so I said, I'm not part of the wedding party. And he was like, yes, you are. Stop saying that. And I was like, no, I'm not. And it was like,
and I don't want to be.
It was like that situation that you're like always in with your family when you're a whole grown human, that you're living life on your own, but they still kind of view you as like this child that doesn't know anything.
Yes.
And So we show up to the place at 10 a.m., which is literally just me in a full tux, while the girls are just getting their hair done, and I'm just sitting here like, cool. And then at like
Cool.
noon, like 2 hours later, my dad comes up and he's like, "Yeah, we probably didn't need to be here this early." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you think? Like I was telling you, we did not need to be here this early."
Oh dear. At least say optimist. Oh God, I'm sorry. At least he was like, in his own way, he told you that you were right, which is always satisfying, right? It's
Yeah,
satisfying.
it was satisfying. But family, man, you know.
The pumpkins were on point.
The pumpkins were on point. Beautiful pumpkin.
Also,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just found out this past week that Becca doesn't like warty pumpkins.
Oh no.
Oh, they're the best ones.
Ew.
They're
Okay.
so cute.
I think it might have something to do with the trypophobia situation for me.
Yes. Probably.
Wait, is that how you say that word? I think that, whatever.
Trypophobia?
Trypophobia.
Yeah, something like that. The holes. Fear of holes.
Yeah.
It just grosses me out, but there's certain things that gross me out and certain things that don't. Like I posted a photo of like Choya and a bunch of people were like, you really should have put a trigger warning for like trypophobia, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even think about that.
Choya. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me looking at that close up, but like the warty pumpkins, like locust blooms or whatever, I can't do it.
Lotus seed pods, is that what you're
Oh yeah, lotus, not locust. Lotus, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Lotus seed
yeah.
puffs. Honeycomb.
Honeycomb
See-
doesn't bother me, but the locust, oh my God, I said it again. Lotus things, I can't do it. I think it's like because it's like kind of wrinkly around the holes. Like I can't do it. It's so gross.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Ew.
the complete opposite. I can't look at honeycomb because it freaks me out. Or like bees going in and out. Like, oh, that just creeps me out. But a warty pumpkin. Oh, this is a misfit pumpkin. Anyway, I really liked the pumpkin setup and how you did it like around the head. That was the head table, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was so cute.
See, but again, like I felt like I was overstepping my bounds because when I was there, the mother of the groom was setting up the pumpkins. And it was another one of those situations where I was like, we can't have this. Like, this can't happen because it was like just a line of pumpkins covering the whole front table in like a straight line.
Oh.
And so I started rearranging. One of my sisters told her, like, oh, let him do it. He's an artist. But I'm sitting here thinking, an artist? Like, I'm not an artist. I feel like that was code for he's gay. He knows how to do this.
Okay, I thought that's what she was going to say. Oh, let him do it. He's gay. Like, I really thought that's what you were going to say. Like, I'm just imagining, like, the gay big brother from the big city coming into the small town wedding and is like, no, everything needs to change.
Yes.
That's kind of how it was. I felt like
In your double XL shirt.
I'm sitting here like a full-on walking stereotype. I'm like, girl, no. Ain't happening, sis.
I love it. That shit is so funny.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I think that
Good
is hilarious, like, in the best way.
But all in all, yeah, it was a good trip. The table, like the centerpieces, which I had never seen this in real life, but they were full of like those clear like balls, like the water balls that you would like soak in water. But when you put water around them, they basically become invisible.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was like big colored pearls just like in the vases too, but they look like they were floating in the water, like still because
Yeah.
they're surrounded by those tiny balls, but when there's water in it, you can't see it. I was like, this
That's
is
cool.
the coolest thing ever. I thought it was so
Yeah.
cool.
Well, at least you had a good time, and I'm sure, like, and the flights were okay, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So I told Steve this yesterday, but when I was leaving Grand Island, you know how bad, like I get bad anxiety on flights, but we were like,
Yeah.
we pulled away from the gate and we were taxiing to the runway and a butterfly like flew up over the wing by my window. And for some reason in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to be okay. Like in that moment, I was like, I'm safe. And I don't know why. It was so weird. But yeah, the flights were fine.
Good. That's good. I also hate flying, so I definitely feel your pain. And I was going back and forth about, like, should I text him, safe flight? Should I not bring it up because maybe his mind's not thinking about it? I didn't know what to do, but I'm glad that you had a good flight.
Yeah,
both ways.
The flight there, I watched Hocus Pocus 2.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
I liked it
then
a lot.
the flight back home, I watched The Real Bling Ring, like all episodes of that.
Crazy, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
know.
nuts.
That's wild.
But you all,
it's a wild ride.
like, sorry, I feel like I'm talking so much. This is going to be quick.
That's okay.
I was in middle Nebraska, like very small town Nebraska, and I really feel like my internet switched to be different, which is so weird to say. But TikTok, I was getting all of these conspiracy theory TikToks, but like the wrong side of conspiracy. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh,
But
no.
I was
Weird.
getting a lot of TikToks of like Hocus Pocus 2 being like Hollywood is throwing it in our faces that there are actual baby cells mixed up in our skincare, in our food products and all that stuff.
What?
And I was like, there are people who actually believe that like Pepsi has stem cells in it and won't drink Pepsi or any of those products. Like, and I was like, how did I get here? And I really truly feel like it was a location thing. It was like, oh, you're in this area, so this is like what we're pushing
that's
out.
weird.
I don't know. It was freaky.
Yeah.
That is weird.
I don't doubt that, though.
There was that one line in Hocus Pocus 2 where the girls, when they first saw the witches, and they were like, oh, we don't have to do that anymore. There's already souls inside the products. And they were using that as proof that Disney and Hollywood in general was just throwing it in our faces that like all of this stuff is real and they're laughing at us kind of thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, the conspiracy theorists kill me.
Ugh. It is wild, though. Like, if that's all you're ever exposed to, how could you think any different, though? Like, it makes you
Right.
understand. Like, I say this all the time. Like, moving here has made me understand a lot. I don't agree, but I understand why they would think certain things.
Yeah.
Why like brainwashing is real, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think about just watching mainstream media and how brainwashing that could be too, because they're not really telling you the whole thing, you know? There's so much. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's
All right.
my catch up. Sorry for being so long.
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
Becca, how was your week?
Yeah, this week it's been rather uneventful. Like 2 days this week, it was raining and very cloudy and dark like all day. So I was pretty much just hanging out inside and doing like a few things outside on the greenhouse. I set a deadline that I want to have plants moved into the greenhouse by the end of October. Like I want to be done up to that point, like by the end of October. So, and I really said like by the time my mom visits at the like last week of October. And I think that I'll be able to do that. I hope. There's only a few things that I need to do before that can happen. So I think that it'll be okay. Being like completely
What's left?
So I need to finish putting up the last wall, installing all the fans and the exhaust fan, installing the corners, like the corner trim, just to like button up the outside, put on some like horizontal wood pieces between the plastic and the plywood siding just to like hide the seam. I need to build the benches. And that's pretty much it. Like there's really not much. Like all of that could
seemed like
probably
a lot.
It seems like a lot, but it also seems like you could probably knock each one of those things out in like 2 days each.
Yeah, like a day. Well, like most of those, like the benches is going to take a while, but that's something that can be like a work in progress. Like as the, like,
Yeah.
you know, plants can be in there and like as I'm building the benches, I can be bringing them in. And I'm
Right.
still like trying to figure out the design for the interior because like I thought I wanted to just do benches all around, like 4 foot tall benches around the entire perimeter. But then I was thinking like, oh, well, if I have tall plants in there, I don't want them to be already 4 foot off the ground. You know what I mean? So like I think on the big north side, I want to have like maybe 2 foot tall benches so they're off the ground, but not like too tall.
Right.
I don't know. Like I'm just trying to figure that out. Yeah. So Yeah, like there's like concrete things that like need to be done, and then the rest of it's just sort of like up to whatever I want to do, like design wise. So I'm still trying to figure that out, and I really want to put like a sink in there, like a vintage sink. I need to find one for a good price.
Yeah.
I am in the right like location for it though, because it's like a farm, like a traditional farmhouse sink. Like there's lots of people selling them. I just might have to drive a little bit to find one. But yeah, there's just stuff like that is left. But I definitely will be able to move plants in like the next couple weeks, which is exciting because I had to bring my houseplants inside and there is no room. Like I have big houseplants. They're big.
Yeah.
We've been outside the last couple summers. Like they're getting really big, and yeah, they cannot live in my house. I mean, maybe they could, but I don't want that. It feels like too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a person that's like, no, you definitely can have too many houseplants. I really believe that. Like, I know it's like
feels overwhelming.
Yeah, I know it's like funny and cute to say you can never have too many, but like, don't sometimes you just want to have like a clear surface where you can just like put something on, like work on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's why I'm so thankful to have the plant room, because everything is in there, and like the entire purpose of that room is to have plants, and then like the rest of my house I have like, you know, a few. But anyway, so yeah, the first couple days of this week I was just sort of chilling out, doing a lot of editing. I filmed quite a bit last week, and then what's happening? Oh, my father-in-law is like in town, kind of. He's in the hospital, so that's been like a whole thing. We're going to visit him like almost every day, so that's taken up a lot of evenings. But the fall colors are here, as we discussed, and my property is just so beautiful. Like,
It is.
it's so beautiful this time of year. Really, any time of year besides winter. If it's snowing, it's really pretty. But like, you know, dead of winter, no snow, I'm like, I hate this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just such a beautiful place to live. I love it so much. I'm sad that we're gonna have to move eventually, but you know, maybe we could hold on to it and come back, but we'll see. But that's like becoming more of a reality as like time goes on, and I'm sad, but it's okay. Life moves on.
The trees on your property, like they're so different, so like they all turn different colors at different times, and it's just like this light show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed about Missouri, and Daniel has also said this like a lot, but like there's so many different types of trees here. Like I imagine in other places, since he said that, there's like all oak or like all maple, but here it's like there's lots of maples, which are mostly maples are turning right now, like very vibrant.
Yeah.
Like our oak tree is like starting to, but the maple tree is like bright red. And then there's lots of like yellow and orange in the woods. And like still lots of green. I'm hoping that it holds on for my mom, because she's visiting at the end of October, like I said, and she wanted to see the colors. And I'm like, I don't know. Like right now is like probably the best time, but like she'll probably see like remnants, because I remember last year around this time we went to Hawaii at the end of October, and like there was still colors when we left, but when we came back there was none. Like mid-November there was like nothing. So
well, I think there's going to be a cold freeze coming through soon, which usually kind of seals the deal on the fall colors, right?
And it's like this, it's like the next couple days, I think, it's going to be real cold tomorrow. That's usually all it takes, is like an evening frost and then like a little bit of wind, and they're all gone. You know, like wind and rain usually clear them off.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like 29, 26.
Yeah. Get those plants inside.
Yeah. So that's that side of things. I had to get a new phone, which I have talked at length with these two about, so I don't feel the need to say much, but basically I cracked the back of my phone again, because like the little part of my phone that is not covered by a case got,
of course it hit it, of course
it got smashed with a rock, because I was on the greenhouse being stupid, and I dropped it, and of course it fell. A rock fell in that exact spot and poked up, and it cracked it. And it's been cracked for a while, and like my camera was being buggy because it hit the camera. And so yesterday I finally went in to like go get it fixed, and it was going to cost like $500, which is insane.
It is, yeah.
So I ended up getting a new phone for various reasons that I just will not revisit. I already had the conversation with Daniel too, so I'm like, I'm over it. I had
the trauma's still there.
The trauma, yeah. I had to explain to him because I kind of just did it. And like, whatever. He does not care if I do things on my own. That's he married an independent queen. He knows the drill. But there's this quote on the show I'm watching where they said like strong women don't need men like to do things, but a good man won't let her, or something like that. Or a strong woman can do anything she wants alone, but a good man won't let her. I was like, okay, I kind of like it. It's a little cheesy, but like I kind of like it. I find that to be true in my life because I really could do anything I want on my own pretty much. But yeah, Dan is Dan knows when to step in and when to not. And I appreciate that.
I hear that quote and I feel like that doesn't resonate well with me because I'm like, I'll do it myself. Get out of here. Like, no, you're going to do it wrong. I'll do it myself.
I'll still do it on my own. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, back to like people being like, why doesn't Daniel help you? I'm like, it's better that he doesn't.
Which still blows my mind that people comment that on some of your videos. It's
yeah.
Like, just let her drive the damn tractor. Okay?
I know. What the heck? I like mowing the lawn. It's fun.
Yeah.
But
you got the pants. You got the boots.
I bought the outfits. I got to use them. So yeah, that's really been my week. I'm currently working on some like fall DIYs for my second channel, which will definitely be up by now.
Cool.
So yeah, let me show you guys. I made this candy corn garland. It's not going to live in this spot forever, but I just hung it up there so that I could. Oh my
God, I love candy. Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
You like it? It's cute.
That is so cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah. It's cute.
I love candy corn, like all things.
Nicole, did you really just want to nibble on the white part of that?
Just the white part. But like candy corn that has a face, like cute little face candy corn, like little people candy corn.
That's cute.
So cute.
That is cute. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. So nothing like super eventful.
Well, the fall is in Illinois too. The fall, it's here. I don't remember last year. I don't remember us having a very long fall because I feel like, well, like you said, you went to Hawaii. And you were worried when you left. I remember you were saying that you were worried because not all the leaves, like they weren't really turning. And then you left and I feel like we had a week of fall and then it went away. Like that's what it felt like last year because I feel like it went from 80 degrees to like 40 degrees overnight and then it just stayed there. But this year, I will say I'm impressed. Like it feels like fall and it's felt like fall for at least a month now. It's been perfect weather. The past like 10 weddings I've worked, it's been so comfortable. And the leaves have been steadily changing slowly, which I love because like I need this. Like this is my time, you know, like this is my happy space. So I almost debated like contacting some of the sessions I have coming up in the next few weeks and being like, listen, I'm off for the next 2 weeks. If you guys want to get your sessions in now, because I feel like these leaves are going to just go and then you're going to have some dead ass trees in your photos, you know?
Yeah.
Because people always want to schedule it like around Halloween because that's typically like high peak fall, but it's been earlier and earlier, I feel like, you know? Climate change and all that. So I don't know, but it's really pretty here. And like I said, I don't remember seeing this many colors here last year because last year was the first fall of us being in Palatine. And now the trees are just so pretty. Like there's a block down the street from us that is just all red maple trees, like bright
the red ones.
Red. Yes. So pretty. But I've been enjoying that. And now I'm off for a couple weeks, which I really don't know how that happened. I think I talked about this before, but like I'm planning all the fall things, pumpkin patches.
Yeah.
I'm seeing my friend on Saturday who I haven't seen in like quite literally a year. We're going to go
Yay.
we're going to do like some little boutique bouncing around downtown suburbia, and it'll be fun. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much it. Like, I really don't have much to catch up on. And I kind of want to get into these stories. So I'm going to cut mine short. Okay. All right.
Excited.
So I'm so excited.
Can we save the video one for last?
Yes.
Is that what
we'll
you were
do that
planning?
one last.
Ooh,
Yes. Because I still have to send it to you because I didn't send it to you guys yet. Okay, so we asked you guys to send us some scary stories. We have a few stories here, and I'm going to read them. And Adam and Becca have not checked emails in like the past week. So I've kind of been taking them.
Let's be honest.
I made a folder, and I've been taking them out of the inbox and putting them in the folder. The folder name is Spooky Stories Halloween Episode. Okay. All right. So the first one's a longer one. So bear with me. And it's from a listener. His name is Samuel, and very, very sweet person. But he sent it in French. So I had to like translate the whole thing. And it took me a minute, but I figured it out.
Nicole, you should have told me.
Well, I used Google Translate, or like I used Apple Translate. Like it did it for me quickly.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it wasn't like letting me copy and paste it into my notes so I can like then email it back to myself.
Yeah.
And then I had to read through the whole thing because it was kind of like not translating certain words, blah, blah, blah. But we got it. We got it. I'm going to bug you. Why? Because you could have done it pretty easily.
I don't know if I could have done it easily, but I probably could have done it.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
I know French. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Ce soir. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Oh. Sorry.
No, I fully spoke French to a French person in Paris, and they spoke English to me. And I know that what I was saying was correct. So, you know, what can you do? I tried. I did take French for 4 years.
Oh, gosh. I took Spanish, and I still don't know Spanish fluently. Okay.
Don't beat yourself up about it. You know, the U.S. education system, it doesn't set us up for success with being bilingual. And I have so many thoughts on that. So many. Yeah. But this is not that episode or even that podcast theme. So
it could be. It could be a topic. Okay.
Probably not.
All right, let's set the mood. Adam, cue the music. All right, from Samuel. Oh my gosh. Becca left again.
Yeah, it's the ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell her that, though.
I don't like this. I don't like it.
Why is it happening?
I don't know. Okay, but the other day I was doing laundry and I swear I saw a ghost in my hall. And I was telling Daniel, like, it didn't scare me, but I was just, I knew that it was there, but it didn't scare me. So I'm like, I feel like that means that they're nice and they're happy that we love our house and we're taking care of it. And he's like, I don't know about that, Becca. Like, and there's a mirror in our hallway. He's like, you probably just saw yourself. I'm like, okay, that's definitely a possibility.
But also, maybe Google your house history. I don't know. Just find out.
Yeah.
There's a burial ground under there or something.
We see property records.
Yeah. All right. Hi. First of all, I want to tell you that I love the podcast and I love you 3. Your friendship is precious and it greatly reflects mine with my close friends. That's so sweet. I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Samuel and I'm 22 years old and I live in Quebec, Canada. The story I'm about to tell you is true, and I even have several witnesses who were with me when these events occurred. P.S. There are many details, but they're necessary to understand the story.
I already have goosebumps.
Oh, I'm a bad storyteller, too. One of you guys should be reading this. I'm going to try. I started working as a beneficiary attendant in November of 2020. My employer my employer sent me to a COVID-19 containment center, which freaks me out to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay. This place was a former convent of nuns, photo included. So we'll include this photo in stories. The place was built in 1880, and it was used during the pandemic to welcome residents of several retirement homes to prevent the virus from spreading to their homes. COVID-19 patients therefore had to stay for a minimum of 2 weeks to recover from the disease before being transferred back to their home. The former convent was previously used to welcome several patients for diseases of all kinds, cases of psychiatry, dementia, and other cognitive problems. All this to say, there were many people who ultimately ended up dying there. I felt like I was working in a former museum. The architecture is truly unique. The walls were so wide that you could move through the walls, like between the rooms. You could literally walk through the walls. There was also a very old grayish green elevator. The elevator made a horrible noise when it was in operation. It squealed a lot when it came up from floor to floor. And when the door remained open for too long, the elevator made a very loud noise to indicate that the doors were not able to close. This happened when we put our hand between the doors to prevent the door from closing before someone got on. You know how you always like save it? Mm-hmm. I'm never doing that again.
I've heard some horror stories of people like losing their hands.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I guess I trust elevators too much. Shit. The building was divided into 5 floors and a basement. On the ground floor, there was the cold zone. That is the area where employees took their breaks. On the second floor, there was the reception with kitchens and living rooms, but we didn't have access to that floor. The third and the fourth floors were where residents each had their own rooms and they could move freely about on these floors. Really setting the scene here. Mm-hmm. Staff had to put a special suit on to work on these floors to be protected, so PPE gear. The elevator didn't go up to the 5th floor, but we were told that they were offices maybe. We weren't about to go check. Finally, the basement, where we were told not to go, but of course it still piqued my curiosity to go see what was down there. The floors that welcomed the residents were in the shape of an L. Sometimes some sections of the floor were closed because we didn't need all the rooms. In each room, there was a light at the top of each door to indicate that the patient needed help, so they'd be able to press a button and call for help. After a few weeks, after starting to work at this place, I made a friend. Her name's Melissa. We both worked on the evening shift, 4 p.m. We talked about what could be in the basement. We knew the best way to know was to just go and see ourselves.
No. Every scary movie ever.
I know, absolutely not. Especially in an old convent. No. It's okay, Samuel. I appreciate the story. Without your curiosity, we wouldn't have this story. And Becca just got disconnected again.
This has never happened. It's probably the new phone, you guys. It has to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a new phone. Okay.
It's the new phone. But why would a new phone be doing that anyway?
The dogs are not barking, so we're fine. They'll let you know.
Yeah, they would feel it. They're very docile currently.
Yes. Okay. We entered the elevator and I pressed the button that led to the basement. For the first time, the elevator did not make a squeaking noise. Total silence. We were already sorry to be doing this. The doors open and it was black, very black. There was only the light of the elevator to illuminate us. In front of us was a yellow ribbon barrier that said, "Defense to enter." I only pulled my head out to the side to try to see the distance. There was debris of all kinds, cement blocks, torn clothes, pieces of desks. And it was while looking at the surroundings that I felt a very cold current of air passing through the elevator. I looked at Melissa and she immediately said, "Okay, let's go back up." I immediately nodded, pressed the button, and turned to return to the ground floor, but the elevator didn't close. I continued to press the button to close the doors and nothing happened. Of course, the elevator alarm began to scream. We were petrified. The alarm continued for 10 endless seconds until we saw the defense to enter banners moved, as if someone was standing between the elevator doors and then just left, like someone was standing there like holding it open.
Oh.
The doors finally closed. Without realizing it, we had stopped breathing. We were relieved to finally be able to go back up, and we never went down again. The same evening, around 11:30 p.m., we were doing our bedtime tour. The bedtime tour consists of going to see each person in each room and ask if the patients were well. When the... She hung up again.
Okay, guys. It's not funny.
Why is this happening? This never happens.
I'm really not okay.
This never happens.
It's just weird.
Should we
because
hang up?
It just like completely shuts down. Like it's not like, you know, a ghost is tapping the screen and then hitting the X button. So I really don't think it's ghostly activity. I think it's a phone glitch.
What the fuck?
Phone glitch.
Okay. All right. So it's the evening time. They're going to check on the patients. I went to room 13. The door was blocked, so I knocked on the door to find out if the patient was well. He didn't answer. I hit the door a little harder. Are you all right? Still no answer. I say through the door that I'm going to have to enter the room. I turn the handle, but the door is blocked. And that's where I hear the patient answer me. I'm fine. Relieved, I proceed to the next room. Once the tour is over, I do a little cleaning in the corridors and pick up the pockets of soil, linen, and waste. Sorry, this is where the English gets sketchy.
We're not wondering why the door was blocked. We're just moving on.
We're just, well, because he said, I'm all right. You know, I'm fine. So
okay,
they had to move on. To get rid of the bags, I have to carry them into a closed section of the floor. I then enter a large room where the garbage cans are. I get rid of my bags and I turn around. I see eyes looking at me in the distance in the room in front of where I am. I started to get very scared, but I had to have courage to go see who it could be.
Nope.
I arrive at the... No, I would have ran the other way. I arrive at the entrance of the room and I still see eyes looking at me. The person was supposed to be a few meters from me. I turn the light on while trembling. He was the patient in room 13. I was both relieved and confused. I don't know how the patient got here. However, the stretcher blocked the passage to this area, and when I turned, the patient was in his room and he told me that he was fine. So I asked the resident what he was doing there, and he replied, I just got lost. So I escorted him to his room, and that's when I realized something strange was happening. The door to the patient's room was still blocked. The door only locks from the inside, and someone answered me when I passed there just a few minutes ago. The patient sees me trying to open the door with the key and says, oh yes, the door was blocked earlier. That's how I got lost. I thought I had the wrong room. So clearly that wasn't him in the room who answered him before. I opened the door of the room and felt the same current of cold air when I went down to the basement. I turned on the light. There was nothing at all. No one in the room. I had chills. I would have passed the fuck out.
And it was patient number 13?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that like a bad number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Taylor Swift fan.
Which I am, but moving on. I helped the patient get to bed and redirected myself to the main room where my colleagues were. I told them what had just happened, and they were as confused as I was. My shift was over. It was now 11:59 p.m., and I was discussing my evening with the night staff who just arrived. I look at my watch, and it displays midnight, and the sound of the room bell immediately rings. I was trying to see in the distance what room light was on to see which patient needed help. No light was on, though. I walked along the corridor to the closed section, and that's where I saw the light of the call bell came on from the room at the end of the corridor of a closed section. This section was in total darkness, though. No one was there.
Oh, no.
There was no chance that a patient could find himself in this room. My colleagues told me that they would take care of it, but I said I wanted to go see since I had already found a patient who had been lost. I started walking in the closed section in total darkness. I was halfway to the room, and that's when the room light went out. The only way to turn off the call bell is to go into the room and press the button on the wall. So just like in hospitals, like the nurse has to come in and shut it off, you know? But this time there was no one in the room. So I turned around to the section where I came from, and that's when the bedroom bell at the back of the closed section opened. The bedroom door, I'm sorry. The door opened so hard that it hit the wall inside the room. I started running to my colleagues who were in the lit section. From where they were, they didn't see anything that happened, but they told me that they heard a door hit the wall. I wished my colleagues a good night's work and went home. That night, I had a lot of trouble sleeping. I kept thinking about what happened that day. Every week, strange events were repeated. My colleagues even told me that sometimes they heard screams coming from the basement and that room bells began to light themselves.
No.
I'll always remember this place. Yeah, I know. In April of 2021, they closed the center since there were no more cases of COVID-19 in the residences. Fun fact, the old convent will soon be renovated to be transformed into housing with apartments.
That's a terrible idea.
Oh, no. Yeah,
I know.
burn it.
Thank you for reading my story. I hope you liked it. I had chills again when I wrote it. Happy Halloween.
Wow.
Isn't
No.
that creepy?
Samuel,
No.
you have a lot of courage,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yes.
say.
Yes.
Okay, but my question is, maybe when you're put in those situations where you are like obliged to I don't know, it happens and you're the only one that sees it, or you are the one that should attend to it. Like maybe there's like a sense of courage that comes over you where you have this like sense of duty to the residents or humankind. I don't know. Maybe there's this sense of when you're in that situation, you realize like, I need to take care of this, like an instinctual thing.
Yeah.
Because like, as we're sitting here right now, like, no, we hear that sound, we have to get the fuck out of there. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe when you're in that moment, like adrenaline is like your friend and is like, no, you need to figure this out because you are the one who's experiencing
Right.
it. You are charged with this responsibility. I don't know.
And maybe they weren't like genuinely, maybe some people just don't believe in like paranormal stuff. So they're just like, I'm just going to go check on it. You know what I mean?
Couldn't be me.
But yeah.
Couldn't be me either. As soon as one of my coworkers was like, oh, don't worry about it, we got it, I would have been like, cool, bye.
Bye.
I'm leaving. My shift's over.
All right. Let's do another one. This is from Mallory Edwards. First of all, love you guys. Love listening to you. It's like hanging out with friends. Thanks, Mallory.
Thanks,
We'll be your
Mallory.
friend. Okay. She said, it's my favorite pastime, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway, let's get to my story. I was visiting my high school best friend in her college town, probably 5 years ago or so now. Since she lived in a dorm and didn't have anywhere for me to park, I parked my car in a local grocery store parking lot, and she came to pick me up. We were driving around the back of the store that night, just when it started to get dark, to go get some snacks. To preface this part, my friend Emma was not a very good driver and younger than me, even more riddled with anxiety than I am now, LOL. So I was a bit on edge. Anyway, I see a large black figure, which appears to be a man in a hoodie and dark pants, slouching over and walking on the side of the road, but more in the road than he should have been. And on top of that, my friend was really riding the edge of the road and appeared to not see him at all. As we were literally about to hit him, I yell, "Emma, what the fuck?" And I turned my head to what I thought was going to be us hitting this man. But as I turned my head all the way around to the back of the car, I realized we had already drove past where the man should have been. I looked around dumbfounded, looking for him frantically, as the rest of the people in the car are yelling at me, trying to see what the hell I was yelling about. I just quietly said, "Wait, you guys didn't see that guy?" When I'm still looking around for him in this empty field behind the store. They all told me no and didn't know what I was talking about. The man just disappeared entirely into an empty field where there would have been no place to hide, and he would have hide if he just fell down or jumped away from the car. I was spooked about it for the rest of the night and didn't go to bed until basically sunlight. I thought it was all over, but as my friend was driving me back to my car in the same exact place behind the store the next afternoon, I joked, "I'm going to Google and just find out if somebody died here." As I was looking across the street to see a memorial for someone who literally died there. Wait, what the hell? And my friend said, yeah, I didn't want to tell you. And I was like, dude, why didn't you tell me this? This is like proof, is it not? All I know for sure is that I saw some sort of leftover energy. I like to believe that energy was a ghost and hope he found his way to peace. Spookiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh.
I've heard stories like this before, like where like people recently died and then like they see some like there's videos out there of stuff like this too.
Ooh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm driving in like out in the country at night, like I always just like, what if there was just like a ghost standing in the middle of the road?
I know.
I creep myself out so much.
Have you seen Gothica with Halle Berry?
No, I don't watch that crap.
That's actually a good movie because it's scary and it's paranormal, but it has like a really good purpose to it. Like it's not like that scary. I think you'd be fine.
Okay.
All right. Oh, yeah. And speaking of like driving around at night, I'm so hyper focused on a deer jumping in front of my car that like my head is so on swivel for roadkill that I feel like I'm constantly looking for something.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's totally possible to like see something like that. Okay. This one's from Dawn Meyer, our friend Dawn Meyer. Okay. A couple of summers ago, I was visiting my parents in Colorado at the house they've lived in for about 7 to 8 years. I got up in the night to use the restroom. When I was going back to the bedroom, I thought I saw a man standing just down the hall about 10 to 12 feet away. He was standing in front of and just to the left of the grandfather clock. I paused, thinking I was seeing things. He didn't do anything, but it was still scary. I later, I'm trying to picture myself in that moment. Like, you're looking at someone in your house.
Mm-mm.
I feel like I would just gaslight myself.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're
it's
stupid.
Fine. It's nobody.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. Go to bed. I later told my mom about it, and she said that she's seen him too, just outside her door. She had never said anything to me about him before. Our family thinks we're just imagining him, but who knows? She thinks the previous owner died in the house, but my dad disagrees. Now when I go to the bathroom at night, I refuse to look down that hall.
Okay.
I think that
I
like
wouldn't
older
go to the
houses,
bathroom at the night. I would drive my ass to a grocery store and buy some Depends. And I'm in that room the rest of the night.
Okay, but you could just like pee in a bottle.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Adam.
You got a hose, Adam.
I was speaking as Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go buy myself a Go Girl, and I would grab a bottle.
Get a little 5-gallon bucket, get your plant a potty, take a seat.
See, I feel like houses more than like 50 years old, they have to have some type of shit in them, like all houses, because I feel like when people die and let's say they've lived there their whole lives or whatever, like they have a history in that house. Like sometimes I feel like people just hang around because Beetlejuice, like they're stuck in that.
I was just going to say that. Like it's their house. Like I know new people live there, but it's still their house.
Right. And like most of the time it's not bad. So people are just like, okay, we could coexist. Just don't freak me out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I genuinely wouldn't care if there was a ghost living in my house as long as it wasn't trying to scare me and be weird. If it was just existing and I'm existing and like we're in the same, I wouldn't care. But when you get like the evil spirits, but like in my mind with like paranormal activity, I feel like ghosts and like evil spirits are not the same thing in my mind.
Yeah,
like
they're not.
I think that when people have like negative experiences with the ghosts, I don't think that's a ghost. I think it's like a satanic
demon.
Something
demonic thing.
Yeah, I think it's something. No, yeah, not satanic, a demonic thing. Maybe that's like my Christian upbringing, but I just I don't know. I just don't think that ghosts unless they were a bad person. I don't know. I guess there could be room for a ghost to be like bad afterwards, but I feel like more or less like ghosts are usually just like coming to grips with the fact that they died more than they're like out for vengeance. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Donna McClendon wrote in. Greetings, planty friends. Not too sure this qualifies as a spooky story, but here it goes. I live in Galveston, Texas. Did I say that right? Galveston, Texas. Yeah. Which is known, at least by locals, to be a very haunted island. Galveston does have a very interesting history, full of pirates, cannibalism, war, and even natural disasters. When I first moved to the island in the 2000s, I wasn't aware of the island's haunted past and wasn't too concerned with spooky happenings. However, the house I was renting, which was a historical home, was a little strange. It was a 3-story old Victorian-style house, and of course, it came with weird noises and creaky floors, which I just assumed was normal for the age of the home. There were a few instances where I would find things moved about or would sometimes hear whispers, nothing too crazy. And again, I always just had a justification or an excuse or gaslight. Like the whispers were from someone walking down the sidewalk by the house, or maybe I really did leave that teacup upside down on my kitchen floor and forgot, rolling my eyes at myself as I type this. Specifically, I recall many times when I felt like someone was playing with my hair. The house was definitely strange, and eventually I moved to another place within 6 months of living there. Well, last weekend, as it was the first weekend in October, my partner and I decided to join a walking ghost tour as a way to kick off spooky season, and the tour actually went through my old neighborhood where that strange house resides.
Oh, no.
And I should mention... my partner and I thought we signed up for a tour that was going through a different area of the island, not my old neighborhood at all. And the tour guide literally took us to the block that I previously lived on and told us that the entire area was actually a mass graveyard for unclaimed or unidentified bodies from the 1900 Galveston hurricane, which killed like 8,000 citizens. Think about it. Like, where are they putting all those people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll eventually have to build on that land, you know? This really made me think through some of the weird experiences I had in that house and in that neighborhood. Is it possible that there are spirits hanging about? Who knows? I also found out that the same ghost tour that I lived less than 2 blocks away from the serial killer, Robert Durst.
Oh.
What the heck? Yes.
Isn't he
again,
like a
nothing
more
too
recent
crazy.
serial killer? Wasn't he the guy that like basically confessed on his documentary?
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know about him. I need to do my research on him because I think that there's like a new thing out too. Like they just came out with something, and there was like a 2020 episode about him too.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. But I don't know much about Robert Durst, but that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, of course that explained why her teacup was upside down on the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Ooh, creepy.
See, stuff like that would probably bother me. Like if stuff was moving around, like, have you guys seen Poltergeist?
No.
Yes.
You have? Okay, like the famous chairs on the table scene, like that would freak me out. And I was so disappointed when Steven Spielberg made her like into it. Like she was like, look at this. And she like was flying across the floor or whatever. I was like, come on, that would scare the shit out of any normal person, you know?
Yeah.
I don't understand like how a ghost could pick something up though. So it has to be something else.
Well, yeah.
Like energy is picking it up, but not the. I don't know. In
Casper
my mind,
can pick things up.
Who can?
Casper.
That's true. That is true.
He can. Also,
that checks out.
a little bit of Snapple facts about me. I had a huge crush on Devin Saw when I was little, and it started with him as Casper. Like I had a crush on actually Casper, you know? Yeah. And then I found out who was playing the role, and then I realized
you had a crush on a ghost.
Yeah.
And then I realized like who the actor was, and then he played in Now and Then. which I love that movie too. And I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of cute. But it started with Casper.
Have you guys ever seen Idle Hands that Devon Sawa was in with that was like Jessica Alba's first movie where like his hands were possessed by something and he had to like.
Yes.
It was actually pretty funny.
So.
It was a pretty funny movie.
Mm-hmm. He was also in Final Destination, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The airplane one, which we won't speak of. Okay. Which I just did. Okay, this is from we only have a couple left here, guys, but this is from our very dear friend Natalie, NatJoy on Instagram. And her story is paranormal, but it's a little bit more lighthearted because she kind of embraces it. Okay. She goes
on ghost hunts, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if she does.
I think she does.
She has that personality. She has a personality to be like, I'm cool with these ghosts. Like, these are my people, you know?
Yeah. She does like ghost tours in her town.
Cannot relate.
I think it's ghost tours. There's a cemetery tour with our library. Our library is putting on a cemetery tour. I'm so excited. I'm going to take Daniel as a surprise.
Haunted houses, like as much as I'm into scary stuff, haunted houses, like actual haunted houses, not like Halloween stuff, and like cemeteries, I don't think I could do them because I'd be too scared to like for something to like latch on to me because I believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and I'd bring something home and it was just for like one night of fun. And I've seen The Conjuring one too many times.
One night of fun and you bring something home. Wow. Adult responsibilities.
Yeah. Sounds like a baby.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Sounds like a bad night.
Yeah, cemeteries don't freak me out. We have a lot of small cemeteries around here, and I will sometimes like just drive to them and like sit in the parking lot because I just think they're kind of cute. And like little cemeteries outside of churches is not a thing in Arizona, so I think that's why it interests me. I mean, they are kind of freaky, I'll admit.
And they're old. Like they have those gigantic old tombstones.
Yeah, they're like kind of like. Okay, Adam's face right now. It's like I like lifted my robe and farted into the mic. He looks disgusted.
It's like I don't even know you. Who's like, oh, I'm going to go sit in the cemetery parking lot for a nice afternoon leisurely hang.
I just think they're cute.
It definitely doesn't sound like something you would do, for sure.
Well, I guess because I go during the day. I wouldn't go at night. Like, I think they're cute. It's more like, oh, this is like sweet. This like sweet little church with the cemetery. Like one time Dan and I got in a huge fight and I went and sat in a cemetery and just like was like, wow, all of these people managed to get through life. Like I can get through this, you know?
Yeah.
Aw, that is kind of sweet actually.
I don't know. I guess I didn't think about it as like a spooky thing when I was in that moment. I just like, I don't know, needed a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how lonely I am. All right.
I love you. You're so cute. I needed company. Oh, I would have came over. Okay. Natalie, bless this girl's heart. I have two stories that are about a year apart, but both happened in the same room in the same theater at Beloit College. My junior year, I was approached to stage manage the fall show. I was honored. Of course I said yes, and I knew I would do the job well, though I was super stressed. I also worked in the costume shop sewing costumes. Of course she does. Mm-hmm. So I was always in the theater. The play was staged in the black box theater, and the box for the stage manager and light and sound operators was in a room that housed prop storage at the time. This room had a huge sliding glass window overlooking the black box theater. The rest of the room was filled with shelves and racks of furniture and everything else imaginable. During the second or third production, I was feeling knotted up in my shoulders and really wanted a massage. That's where I carry all my stress, after all. I offhandedly mentioned this to the guys working in the booth with me, and we all agreed that we could use massages. This play had a long stretch.
Where does this story go, Natalie?
I could really use a rub down right about now.
We're in this box together. Ooh, does everyone need a massage?
This turned into a Patreon episode real quick. This play had a long stretch with no cues were called, so my light and soundboard operators went downstairs to use the restroom and grab us all something to drink. I was alone in the room, watching the show through the glass. All of a sudden, I felt a mild pressure on my shoulders. This pressure intensified, but never felt scary or overwhelming. It was just calmly happening, and I knew it was the theater ghost giving me a massage. When I heard footsteps on the stairs of the guys returning, the pressure slowly lifted. I quietly said thank you and smiled. When the guys were back, I told them what happened and they couldn't believe it. Natalie, she just got a little freaky deaky with a ghost.
Imagine how far things could have. Everybody has their kinks.
Is it Scary Movie 3 where that girl and the ghost do it? That's all I think about.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like those. Those me.
We've turned this sweet story into like a porno.
I know.
Ooh, imagine what would happen if the guys didn't come back up. Ooh.
How far would it have went?
That is sweet though that she didn't feel scared. I do feel like if the being has like good intentions, I do think that you would not be scared.
Yeah, and I can imagine it's all about energy too. So it was probably giving an energy that was like, but I'm sorry, if I feel pressure on my neck, my brain's gonna instantly go to think I'm going to be strangled in a second and I'm gonna die, and I probably would have freaked out. Maybe that would have freaked the ghost out, and then I probably would have died. But I don't know.
She should have done some tests on like some subsequent shows and been like, oh, there's an itch in my back that I can't reach.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair is so knotted up. There's this comb here. I've placed this comb right next to me. My hair I just can't reach.
Well, that kind of plays into this next story. Okay. So the following year, that space above the Black Box Theater changed from prop to costume storage, which I became costume storage supervisor. Therefore, I spent a lot of time in that room working with the costume collection. One day, my assistant and I were reboxing some shoes and accessories. We had a ladder with scissors and packing tape, and we're building new boxes. There were about 9 old boxes full of stuff we were inventorying, repacking, and moving to the back of the room. At one point, I reached up the ladder step where my tape and scissors were, and the scissors were gone. Weird. My assistant was not using them, and they were nowhere to be found, even though we had been using them for the past 2 hours. So we just continued to rip the packing tape with our teeth and finished as quickly as possible. About 20 minutes passed, and I reached for the last full box of stuff. When I picked it up, my scissors were under the box. Like, what? We had not touched that box all day. Actually, we had not touched that box in like a week. I laughed and I told her about the ghost who had given me a massage in that room a year prior.
Now he's flirting.
Can you imagine the look on her friend's face?
Oh, my God.
We continued to work making new boxes, and I put the scissors back on the ladder. 10 minutes later, they were missing again. Out loud, I said, I love that you're playing and enjoying my company, but I just want to finish this project. If I walk away for a minute, can I please have my scissors back? So I walked away, moved a few boxes to the new spot, and I came back and my scissors were back resting on the ladder.
What a silly goose. What a silly goose.
Silly little
it's
goose,
in a silly,
Natalie.
goofy mood.
Whenever I make it back to Beloit College, I make sure to get into the theater just so I can say hi to my friend, the playful theater ghost. The freaky theater ghost. Okay. Yes, me. Okay. He was trying to get her digits.
Okay, that honestly could be like a really cute little children's book. The Playful Theater Ghost, like a Halloween children's book.
Actually, yeah.
I like that.
That's true.
Natalie, write it or I will. Everybody give a round of applause to Nicole here for reading these stories in an engaging way. You know, this has been so fun.
I told Jay, I was like, I'm so excited. I'm leading the Halloween episode and people are sending in stories. So like all week I've waited till I got in bed at night and I'm like reading through the stories. And he's like, you're really going to read that shit before you go to bed? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to have nightmares. Okay, but I don't know if...
You're a superhuman.
I don't know if I read this one, though. Okay. This is from... And they said, okay, so let's pretend this is from someone anonymous. Mostly because I haven't asked my husband. Oh, wait, shoot. Okay, sorry. Erase that.
Say their name.
Whoops. This is from an anonymous listener. Okay. All right.
I'm just laughing. I'm just still laughing about that. This is from this person, but they said that I shouldn't read their name.
I definitely didn't read this story. Okay. All right, here we go. They walked through the doorway into a home that was filled to the brim with plants, hanging from the ceiling, covering all the natural light from all the windows, and the smell of neem oil was in the air. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Okay, the real story.
I was going to say, I was like, this seems like it's made up.
This is our house.
That was cute. All right, it was probably 12 or so years ago now that my then boyfriend and I, my husband, were in our 20s. His family was moving out of their rental home. He asked me if I can help him grab last-minute things out of the house. He told me the power was shut off, so we would need to bring our own lights. Flip phones were not the best at creating lighting, so we decided to take candles to make it easier. I'd bring a flashlight. Mm-hmm. I'd probably bring like a really big like one of those camping ones, you know? Yeah. Oh, in quotes, it says, yeah, our dumbasses should have taken flashlights. And also, flip phone's not the best source of lighting. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. We pull up to the home and started walking up the driveway. The closer we get to the door, I started hearing some rattling sounds. I look at him and he tells me, oh, it's the dogs, like they're hiding under the house in the crawl space. Oh, I think I did read this. I didn't really believe him, but I brush it off. We open the door, and as soon as I walk in, I can feel a change in energy. At this time, everyone had already left the house, so it was just the two of us. We turn some candles on to light up the area we were going to be in. We start to pack and notice that the candles seem to be fluttering more than usual, almost like the windows were left open. We brush it off and keep packing. That terrifies me. Mm-hmm. If like something's fluttering in the wind and there's no wind.
Yeah.
Like,
that's freaky.
No, it's very freaky. I needed to use the restroom, so I walked through the hallway to the right, and there was a sudden drain of all of my energy. I call my boyfriend, and he comes quickly. As I start to tell him that I didn't feel good, we hear the toilet flush on the opposite side of the house. I look at him with a what the fuck look. He tries to tell me he's going to go check it out, but I tell him, you're not going to leave me here. As soon as I said that, we started hearing heavy footsteps walking towards us, almost like military-style boots on hardwood flooring.
No.
At that point, I had had enough. I told him, we're leaving. We grabbed our things, we turned off the candles, and we walked towards the front door. I could barely walk. I felt so nauseous. I kid you not, as soon as I walked through the door, I was back to normal. Like, so far, we are on the same page, Anonymous. Like, I would have gotten the hell out of there. Mm-hmm. We drive off and I yell at my boyfriend, dude, what the heck was that? I know the dogs weren't there either. Why would your family just leave the poor dogs there by themselves? He apologized and we went to grab a late dinner. A few weeks later, he tells me he spoke to the owners of the home. He asked them if anything ever strange ever happened there. And apparently someone committed suicide in the closet right by the front door. Also probably a good idea to mention that a lot of things had happened before that night. My boyfriend had told me that in the past, the lights would go on and off and on their own, and blankets and sheets would randomly get pulled. Oh, no.
Mm-mm. Like off of people while they're sleeping?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And one time he saw a person or a figure of a person while we were on the phone. He was wearing a red and black plaid shirt with tan colored pants and black boots. Side note, that man that ended his life was found in that exact clothing, confirmed by the previous owners. If you're wondering why would I ever go into this knowing all of that, well, I was the type of person who would watch all the types of scary movies all on her own because no one else would watch them with her.
Nicole.
Like Dan. Poor Dan.
Yeah.
True. And I believed in the supernatural, but never experienced it before with this level of negativity. Since it happened, I can no longer watch any movie with negative associative energy. I just don't want to manifest anything. No, thank you, Jesus. That's so creepy.
That's weird that they had like a physical bodily reaction to the energy.
Yeah,
Like,
that was clearly a negative like entity.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never heard of that before. Like somebody's body feeling suddenly very bad from a paranormal or whatever situation. That is so freaky.
Yeah, that's in a lot of scary movies, like true story scary movies, or like it's in a lot. So I've seen it before, but only like on TV.
Oh, okay. And I don't go there, so.
Yeah, you don't. Okay. All right. This is the last one before the video one, and the video one's very short. So we're wrapping it up here.
Okay.
This is from Grace, and she said, I saw you were asking about spooky stories for your podcast. This isn't directly my story, but it involves my mother-in-law and a golden pothos that belonged to her mother.
Ooh.
A spooky planty story.
I know. Wow.
As a child, my husband gifted a golden pothos to his grandmother that he bought as a propagation from a yard sale. Yard sales, guys. They could be carrying stuff too. Apparently she loved this plant and grew it into a beautiful plant that stayed in a macrame hanger. She used to insist that my mother-in-law cared for her plants when she was gone, particularly this one. After she died, my mother-in-law was cleaning out the apartment when she heard a sudden crashing sound from the other room. The golden pothos had crashed to the floor. The macrame hanger was intact, and you know how tricky plants can be to get out of those things. And nothing was broken. Not the hook on the ceiling, the hanger itself, and the plant was undamaged. It somehow just fell to the floor for no reason. Since I've known them, my mother-in-law and I have tried multiple times to propagate from this plant. Sometimes they root and then immediately die in soil. The latest cuttings were taken at the start of the summer and refused to root. It's been nearly 5 years and we have yet to get a successful cutting from one of the easiest plants to propagate.
Oh, dear.
Not sure if this is considered spooky enough or what you're looking for, but I think it's a nice story about plant parents that even after death will still be obsessing over our favorite plants.
Aww.
It's like
Yikes.
Crazy, right?
The previous
Haunted
owner like
plant.
became one with the plant and was like, "Don't cut pieces of me away."
We have one more.
The grand
Would one of you guys
finale?
mind reading? Can one of you guys read this one though? Because my throat is really scratchy.
Yeah, I can.
So this is from Bree. We love Bree. You know Bree, right?
Is that Plant Girl 50?
Yes. I'm hanging out with her in like a week.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Do I get
Yeah.
into the email and see it?
Yes. So it's in the it's in the folder
Spooky
spooky
stories.
stories.
Wait, so we have this one and then the video one?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot about Bree.
Hi, Nicole, Adam, and Becca. You know I'm your biggest fan, so I'll skip all the mushy stuff and just get to the story. LOL, but really, I adore you guys so much. Also, feel free to shorten this as I am a very long-winded person in general. So back in high school, not going to say exactly how far back, I went on a trip to San Francisco with my parents. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, so I'm not sure how it ended up being just my parents and I, but it did, and my mom and I took full advantage of getting to do all the things my other siblings were not into, and usually got voted out on other trips. My mom loves spooky things just like I do. We always watched scary movies together and generally just bonded over scary stuff that no one else in our family really liked. Maybe it's because the other kids grew up moving around a lot, and most of my growing up years were spent living in a, well, not haunted per se, but a house with some very obvious ghosts living there. Haunted seems to imply scary or malicious, which it wasn't. Spooky, yes, but not so much haunted. It's a 140-year-old farmhouse, one of 5 original buildings from that area of Utah. I've included a photo of the house with its original owners that the Historical Society gave to my mom in case you want to see the alternative residents still there.
Ooh, yes.
But,
yeah, it's creepy.
But back to the story at hand, San Francisco. One of the things that we got to do was a ghost tour around the city. They are pretty common in most big cities now, but back then it was a fairly new thing and we were super excited about it. They started the tour in the hotel we were staying at, the Queen Anne, which was a boarding school back in 1800s and has the dorm rooms now as hotel rooms and is very spooky in and of itself. But they serve tea and crumpets in the parlor all day, so it makes up for any hauntings on your visit. The tour was led by a guy straight out of a storybook, long trench coat, top hat, cane, led us by a legit lantern with his raven-handled cane. I can't make this stuff up.
Oh my gosh.
He really did fit the part. Most of the tour was actually very interesting history and stories, nothing too spooky really. Then we reached the sister's house. It was the home of 2, you guessed it, sisters, whose parents had died when they were fairly young, leaving them to care for their brother who had a mental illness and was very violent and needed constant care. He was kept from going into the lowest level of the house with the kitchen and other workrooms to keep him away from any sharp or hazardous things he could hurt himself or others with. Trigger warning, this is sad and a little dark. One day while the eldest sister was gone, the younger sister went to take the brother his meal, and he overpowered her and chased her to the lower level where he stabbed her multiple times while she tried to unlock the door to escape out of the house. Back then, it was common to lock rooms within the house, especially in their case. Now, I don't give in easily to anything supernatural at first glance and usually tend to believe most stories have a reasonable explanation to any unexplained event. However, that being said, I still cannot explain what happened that night in front of this sister's home. Our guide had obtained a key to the room through the Historical Society and showed it to us. He then asked for a volunteer, and my mom, true to mom of an introvert form, pushed me out of our little safe crowd and right up to the guide. He handed me the key, which he asked me to look at, check for anything attached, etc. It was a normal antique-style heavy skeleton key. He told us that most people hold the key towards the house, and they say they experience feeling it get warm, buzz, or even feel odd holding it. So he stepped away and said I could hold it out to the house and let them know what I felt. So I placed the key in the palm of my hand with the heavy end facing downhill. It's San Francisco and the streets are on hills. Our calves got a good workout on that tour. And stretched my hand out toward the house. Well, what I felt was that fucking key turn over slowly, very slowly, against gravity. Remember I said it was facing downhill? In my hand. There was no one within at least 3 feet of me, so magnets are out, which was my first thought. The look of sheer astonishment mixed with a heavy dose of fear on the guide's face told me it likely wasn't some hidden telekinesis talent on his part. I truly to this day have no explanation. No one on the tour talked about it. He just slowly took the key back from me and we all walked back to the hotel. But had we not had 15 people there to witness it, I may have believed I made it up. No matter how many times I go over it in my mind, I still can't come up with a reasonable solution. It was wild. Anyway, there's my somewhat creepy story. Thanks for doing all you guys do and just being amazing, Bree.
Oh my gosh. Bree, that's crazy. Okay, so like the key flipped, it's like stood up and then went the other way. And like, did this end the tour? Like the guy was like, we got to get out of here, or was that the natural end of the tour?
That was like the natural end of the tour, I think. And he made it to be like, yeah, that's what happens, you know?
That is so scary.
Ugh. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get to this last one.
All right.
Is your throat feeling
I'm getting
better?
a video. Yeah. And it's short, so I think we'll be good. All right. I'm sending the video, but let me read the story first, okay? Mm-hmm. This is from Alexa. Alexa, tell scary story. Sorry.
Someone's Alexa
Alexas
just went off.
Yep. Okay. Hello, all. You guys are awesome. Your podcast Patreon really gets me through my work day, and your friendship convos always make me laugh. Aww. For my not planty spooky season story, a friend of a friend moved into an apartment in New York. The video attached shows their first night in the apartment playing a drinking game. They posted this video to Instagram, and unbeknownst to them, there were some issues. People started commenting, "What is that moving in the hallway? Is someone else living with you guys?" And when you see the video, you'll realize what they saw when they rewatched the video and saw what everyone else was referring to. They moved out of the apartment that night. Still gives me chills when I watch it. Go ahead. Everybody head over to Instagram.
Is this going to be like a jump scare video?
No, it is not a jump scare. You have to pay attention. You might have to watch it twice.
I don't even want to download this on my device.
No.
That was a whole ass person.
I know. And okay, when I tell you that I downloaded it on my phone and me and Jay scrubbed through this video, when you scrub through it,
Sorry.
when you scrub through it, this quote unquote person has no face and no legs.
It's in a nightgown.
Oh my gosh. No.
Isn't that scary?
See, okay,
I feel like I want to turn into
during
that
the day.
lady from Wife Swap. She was like, "Get me to a church now."
There's no legs.
Yeah. No.
There's an... Oh, how terrifying that they didn't notice that.
I know. And they moved out the same day they moved in.
Yeah.
They moved in that day, and then they moved out.
I would have too.
I mean, can you imagine? I can't.
Okay, I've watched it like 7 times. I was also
know.
scrubbing through the
I'm
footage.
unaware.
That is so scary.
So what do we think about it? We think it's real, right?
Yeah, that's real.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
always
real.
am a giant skeptic, but
So you think our listener is
But
lying?
no,
it sounded like the person recording, those were the 2 girls that lived there, the one playing the game and the one recording. And it sounds like they're drunk, like they're playing a drinking game. Even the way she's recording it, like she breezed past the hallway, but the game was there, so there was reason to do that. It doesn't look like it was staged at all. But why would she post this on social media? It's kind of a bad video.
So they're recording her flinging something onto that thing on the wall?
yeah, it's like
It's a
that. It's
drinking
a
game.
washer game where you have a pendulum and it has like a washer on it. And you try to get it on a hook.
That is 100% somebody with dark hair wearing a nightgown.
I know. I'd be curious to know, like, the history of that building, you know, like, get the address and search that up. But also, like, the way the person moves or whatever it is moves is
I
just...
don't like it. I don't like it at all.
We've blurred the face out of the girl in the video to protect her identity because the person sharing it didn't know her that well. So, but yeah, go take a look. Let us know what you think. I thought that was the best one.
That is terrifying.
You
Like,
know,
I'm
I
just
got
scrubbing through back and forth, and like
Randomly, I'll like wind up on paranormal TikTok where like you have these people who have like cameras for inside their house and like they show things, but I can't watch the videos because it freaks me out. So I like immediately when I see like a night vision camera, I'm like, next video, swipe up. Nope.
I'll go to the comment section and most of the comments are, dude, we see the string, like you're pulling the ball or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's not real.
Yeah.
But
I don't like how that thing moved. I don't like how it walked away, or I don't like how it floated away. I don't like anything. I don't like anything about it.
I know. I showed Jay was like legit like, holy shit. And it takes a lot for him to be like, whoa, you know? I don't know. That freaked me out so bad.
Yeah.
That I had to stop what I was doing and like go upstairs and be in the daylight because I was editing in my basement. I was like, yeah, can't be down here anymore. Thanks.
My like chest like hurts. Like I have like anxiety. Ooh. Wow.
And your phone hasn't shut off in a while. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God for that one. I mean, I don't even know what would happen if it happened again. I just did that on purpose to freak them out.
Stop it, Becca.
Did she just do that on purpose?
When I come back.
I hope so. Your face.
Did you just do that on purpose?
No.
You're lying.
I'm lying. I'm a bad liar.
Adam's face, Becca. Adam's face was like,
You got me.
Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in this almost 2-hour episode. Whoa.
Wow.
We hope you have a very fun and safe Halloween. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at pottedtogether and check out the videos in our stories. Let us know what you think. We'll post some of the pictures in today's episode too in our feed so we can comment in that comment section, talk about it. Mm-hmm. Let us know if you have any spooky stories. Share them in the comments if you can. Mm-hmm. And don't forget to also follow us individually. We're all on Instagram. Becca's at De La Plants. Adam is at Not Dude. And I am at My Clean Leaves. And if you want some more really fun, off-hinged, unhinged banter, you can join our Patreon. Which we should be having an episode coming out next week. So that'll be fun. And you can find that through our website, which is linked in the bio on Instagram. And I think that's it.
Yes.
All right, guys. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.